Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
I wanna be good to you, baby. Ooh, call me crazy 'cause I think I found the love of my life. That's right. Have you ever felt warm on a cold, cold night? That's how you get you least expect it. And you can't reject it. That's the crazy little tingling feeling, pain in your chest. Yes, that's
you
right.
feel that fire? Just let it burn. There's no running when it's your turn. Call me crazy, but I think just let it burn. Let it burn. Let it burn. Let it burn. Call me crazy, but I think I found the love of my life.
Ooh ha, wah ha ha ha, ooh wah ha ha, wah 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 ha, ha.
Whoa ha ha, whoa ha 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 ha, ooh.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wacky Show About Nothing. It's Jaden XD. I'm your host, XD, aka Hanny. Hanny.
Y'all can see we back on our drags.
Yes.
Back on our drags. Let me see. Let's see. I am Jade, aka Karakushka Bakalak Fakshela, aka Katya. You can call me Katya.
It's Katarina Petrov Zomachekovna Petrona. Yeah.
You see this? You're wonderful for even remembering that. I cannot. Yeah. What's going on? What's going on, Hanny?
Still here like Tisha.
Mm-hmm. Sitting alone in the VIP.
Sitting alone in the VIP. Sitting alone because you don't like me.
Sitting alone in the VIP.
Thin white bitch, Blair Sinclair.
That's a jam. It's a jam.
Okay.
Oh God! I was like, why did I get away from drag? I was like, I think I overdid it for a second. I needed a break. Now I'm back, and the bitch feels better.
Yeah. Okay. It's because you binged it all at once, so that's a lot of drag to take in at once.
It is. I needed a break and a taste, but season 13, honey, has really just really come to do what it needs to do. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah. How did you feel about the double Shantae?
Well, bitch, if you're going to save any two of these bitches, it better if you're going to have a double save of the season, now was the time to do it. Because while I don't believe Candy is going to win at all.
No.
Yeah, no. Her drag's not good enough. I said, girl, look at this necessary dress for this Beyonce. I was like, this is cute. It's cute for Halloween. It's cute. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like when you got niggas like Just Mick and like Utica.
Come on, Just Mick.
I can't. I don't know how to. I forget. Oh, and Utica making queens dresses out of quilts and fucking. You know what I'm saying? Candy's not gonna win, but Candy is a personality queen. And she's going to be one of those that comes back for All Stars with better drag. Or like, you know what I'm saying? So she has a trajectory and it wasn't time for her to go. So I felt like a double save was necessary. Candy has to be a part of Snatch Game. That's what we're going to see if she really brings it to the table. Simone has to be a part of Snatch Game. I hope she wins, but something tells me somebody random like Elliot or somebody is going to win Snatch Game. I know. I don't hate Elliot. I just hate his like head to neck ratio.
Well, she's racist, so it's cool.
What excuse?
Elliot with 3 Ks. That's the word.
Wait, she was part of it. When she was at the insurrection, what happened? Tell me.
Hold on.
Elliot, drag queen, racist. Oh, transphobic as well.
Oh yeah, there you go. You found it already.
Oh, I want to see the post though. I think this video explains it quite well. All right, I'll look at this later.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not really like but this episode was good. This was a really good rusical. It was, they are down to like kind of, everybody did a good job with their parts, you know, except Tina Burner when she willfully was like, I'm that bitch, I don't have to sing anymore.
I disagree. I thought she did really well.
No, I thought she did too. I'm just saying I thought everybody did so well that what got her in the bottom, like they had to pick petty shit to put them in the bottom because everybody did so good. And I was like, bitch, you would pick now of all times to just stop singing because she did an amazing job to me.
I thought it was a part of the shtick, honestly. So
of her to stop singing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it's comedy.
Yeah. No, that's fair. No, they took that shit seriously, nigga.
I don't know. Simone didn't do well in that challenge at all. She can't, No. She didn't do well. She should have been in the bottom, honestly. And I love her down. Everybody has to have that one moment when they're in the bottom.
Absolutely. But Gigi was never in the bottom, was she?
She was not.
Not pitting them against. I'm just, observing.
Yeah.
No,
they
Simone
also
needed
didn't have to do a bunch of. We're on like episode 28, and they've had to do.
And we still ain't got to Snatch
like 13 comedy challenges, 4 rusicals.
No, I'm gonna tell you though, I'm not gonna hold
balls.
you, friend. This rusical, I was like, yo, these bitches had to work. Like they had to work boots. I was like, these people was rehearsing all week. They was learning steps. They had to know their places on stage, where to go. And I want to say this was one of the most rusicaliest rusicals. Like, yeah, they could put this on an off-Broadway.
Off Broadway in the Bronx.
Yeah. No. No, it is not Broadway in the Bronx. They could have...
do you watch the Pit Stop?
No, I need to watch. I watch it sporadically, but not regularly.
Only reason why I say to watch it this past week, because Jan was on it. Because, she lost her musical to Gigi. And,
that's right.
And it was interesting because Rose won. And, they're in that group, Stephanie's Child, together.
Jan, Rose, and who?
This other queen who will probably be on Drag Race at some point. She's funny.
Sure. I don't mind Rose. I'm not going to hold you.
I liked this episode won me over because before I was like the gnome thing I thought was when she played the gnome, that shit was funny.
Something about Rose's like her character and charisma, like it kind of comes through in her personality. So I was like, nah,
the professional.
I was like, she got, and she reminds me of a white Dustin, just in like terms of just energy. He's like, yeah, I get bitches. It's no problem.
So they said the girls can sing.
Yeah. Well, I did laugh at Untucked though when Denali was like, bitch, I'm not gonna hold you. You read the house down on me with that motherfucking audition. She's like, bitch, you turned circles around me, bitch. Yeah. I was like, I know Denali didn't think she was getting ready to get that part after Rose did that. No.
She didn't do too bad.
No,
she
didn't.
Wasn't Rose.
Because Denali's personality is like, It's like when you get a burrito. Like, it's going to be good. It's going to be satisfying. You know you're going to get satisfied from it, but there's really good burritos, and then there's burritos where it's like, well, this is rice and beans and meat, and it will do.
Yeah, like, when everybody read her, I was like, who?
Wait, that was not, I should not have used burrito. But Denali's personality is just, now she did really, really well with that Russian bot with Just Mick. Like, they did really good in that part.
Mick. No, I'd probably call him. I'm going to call him Just Mick now.
Well, change it, bitch, because that's why I can't. That's what it should be. But she did really good in that part, and Denali is talented, but you just don't have it.
That's the thing. Because
Mick
ain't a dancer nor a singer, but, you know.
But he got something.
He definitely turned it out way more than the professional dancer, as Denali.
I paid attention to Mick more than I paid attention to Denali in that. But they both did well, though. Mm-hmm. They both did well. So it was an enjoyable performance. Candy needs some help with her fashions. She's up there looking like Dress Barn, looking like LinkedIn's finest admin assistants. But
and it's like, and I don't ever want it to be like. I just think she's just a girl from the Bronx. You know what I mean? It's just she just can't help it.
When she comes down the runway with that mouth, because her tongue is too big for her mouth, and she comes down the road, she be trying to do that sexy face, and she be like, I be dying. I'm like, here comes Candy with her sexy swollen mouth face. Woo, shit, it cracks me up. I miss Cover Drag on this channel. I know.
It's so much. I just can't wait till you really get into UK, because you're going to have all the words and love for Lawrence
Well, by
Chaney.
the time this comes out, I would have been.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy Lawrence Chaney.
I can't wait to see Drag and George Orwell come together, nigga. You blew my mind with that one.
Oh, yeah. And then Veronica, she does some shit with, like, she comes out as a robot. But it's all makeup.
I can't wait.
The talent. Did I ever show you the picture of Taste with the picture where it's like she has splattered like blood on her face? And it's like, oh, let me text this to you now.
Let me see. While you're doing that, Mix Runway was really good this week.
It really, really was.
It was really, really good. It was really good.
Biggest fan of Mick.
I'm not either, but I have to. It's like with Gigi. Gigi's personality was cute or whatever. Gigi just served looks. I'd be a hater ass bitch to not say that Mick don't serve. Mick got motherfucking fashions down.
Yeah,
like down.
So that's Taste.
What? Oh,
right.
Oh, wow.
See.
It's like Shea Coulee meets Naomi meets Gigi Good meets Carrie.
Yeah.
Pig's Blood Carrie.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm going to turn that dog into beef and broccoli if they It's all fucking day, every day.
Oh my God.
And they have the mitigated gall to have a poster on their door with hand-drawn hearts on it talking about German Shepherd. Girl, okay. I don't give a fuck what kind of dog you have. Shut it up.
You should cross it out with a Sharpie and put lunch special.
Listen, $5.
Next thing, your whole apartment's gonna be coming to your door for a plate, and they not gonna know where their dog at.
What do you call this? Fourth meal, girl.
Come, Kyle.
No, I do not believe in. Cooking animals. That's all jokes. However,
yeah, you do believe in cooking animals.
Well, I meant like in that regard. I'm not going to
domesticated
cook a cat or
animals.
Like okay. You know that because I've been watching. I have the CBS app all access app. Do you not hear?
I just heard him. Goddamn Cujo. Bang on the wall.
They beefing though.
Who beefing? Who fighting?
It's like the neighbors are arguing over the dogs.
Oh, open the door. Let us hear.
Just like that.
Because somebody else came by and said, bitch, I'm about to make meatloaf.
Okay. Benihana out there.
I don't believe in eating domesticated animals either. Maybe, no, that's a lie. I will fry your little goldfish if I get hungry enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, and if we're on the end of days, best believe.
Yeah.
We about to have kebab.
Your fish will get got. I'm not gonna hold you.
Okay.
Your fish.
We have a whole meat pie. Okay,
like,
just like
what's
Sweeney
this
Todd.
stew? And where is Snuggie?
Okay, we having gyros tonight, kids.
Can I have some more hummus to go with it, please? Sure.
Okay. Be the best damn schnauzer
like
you ever had.
Covered in oregano and lemon juice.
Okay. A gribula.
Oh, God.
Anywho.
Chihuahua chalupas. Schnauzer schnitzels, bitch. It is a movement.
French poodle and frijoles, girl.
But Jade and XD are coming to a city near you to cook up your pets, bitch.
Okay. We're having a pop-up truck. We get random shit to sponsor it, like Tide.
Dawn.
McDonald's HBCU tour. Anyway, subscribe to our
Insomnia cookies.
like random shit like Panda Express.
I know you didn't even do that on purpose.
I didn't even think about that.
I know you didn't.
I didn't.
Oh, God. Oh, my
I have no idea what we're talking about.
I don't know. No, I don't know either. I don't even know what we're doing.
Okay. Subscribe to our Patreon, where mess truly lives. Let's see. Subscribe to our Discord, which is free.
Yes.
Link is in the description box. That's where you can chat with the Jade and XD community, where we also we discuss everything we talk about on the show in depth. If you want to find like the real tea on all these contestants on these shows we talk about, join the Jade and XD Discord.
Oh yeah, them niggas, they be going in.
There's links and things. Okay. And also, yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you have any announcements?
Nope. Stay tuned for an announcement coming to you very soon about a virtual book club. And also, Patreon is back. I said it last week. We're officially back with a red beans and rice video. We're coming back with some fun.
Oh yes,
things.
I'm making it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to make it this weekend because I have to order groceries and stuff. But I was like, "Ooh, red beans and rice." It's too warm to eat it right now, but like it's supposed to cool off.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to do a couple heartier things while it's cool, and because we did a couple light things during the summer, so I want to do some heartier things. We're gonna do a short rib chili soon, and I gave some plant-based alternatives for the red beans and rice as well, so you all are not left out. We're just trying to We're just trying to. I bought this new little contraption so that it moves with me, like when I'm doing certain shots. So like, oh yeah, your girl's trying to like, I do things. So
okay. Work.
Cover girl.
I'm into it. Put that bass in your walk, head to toe. Make your whole body talk. So we have a good show today.
Yes.
We're about to talk about, Hell, the documentary, which is Married at First Sight, after these messages. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
This is the blackest show about nothing.
This is Jade and XD. I'm Jade.
And I'm XD.
The show is two best friends talking about anything and everything.
And sometimes we have awesome people on, like Crystal and Kid Fury from The Read.
When I was in high school, there was this girl in my computers class with me. I wish I could remember her name so I could apologize. But I just used to call her Atrocious, like, as, a pet name, because... Hey, Atrocious! Being someone who was constantly the butt of a joke or picked on or whatever, I just saw this opportunity to, make fun of somebody else, and I did it.
Somebody needs to do a study into silver teeth and the link between, the silver tooth to prison pipeline.
Yeah, silver tooth to prison pipeline.
And New York Times bestselling author Michael Arsenault.
And Mama kept trying to interject at any moment that she could sing, and it was like, beloved, you're not even the best singer on stage. The girl from Destiny's Child is with the Platinum Soul album. It's like, not you.
And of course, there's us,
Jade
and XD.
You can listen to new podcast episodes every week on Fridays.
Listen to Jade and XD
for free on Spotify.
And we're back. So, Married at First Sight. So, who do you want to start with?
Well, let's start with where it started, with all the group meetups in the top.
Okay, so they all are getting together. Girls are linking up first, and they go for a cocktail lesson. And the guys are going out to get a craps lesson. So,
which is very sexist.
It is.
Well,
So
how come we can't gamble? I want to go play craps. I'm going to whoop these niggas.
Right.
What's the problem?
They pay into gender roles heavy in this show.
Oh, boots. But we'll get to that.
Right. So Offred is like, her name is, we named her right for a reason, because Mama has been political all episode. Mama has been fighting the crusade, fighting for women.
Blessed be the fruit.
Okay, under his weave. So she says, she was shocked, but she wasn't surprised by #blessed, which sounded racist. But
no, I'm gonna tell you who had a racist undertone, and you already know.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
Proud Boy and his.
But yeah. The linen. Yeah. So, Offred, she kind of just tells the cameras what we're all thinking.
Yeah.
And I understand how, her kind can be. But in this case, she wasn't wrong. And for the whole episode, I'm going to say right now, she wasn't wrong.
No, she wasn't at any point, actually.
Right. So it cuts to the girls. And, not Mila Kunis has never been to Vegas before, which is surprising because, Mama likes to be cocktailed all day, every day.
Boots.
Like, the show opened up with her and Cheese Stick trying to get liquor.
This bitch was trying to get a pina colada. It was 8:12 a.m.
Right.
Which, I mean, we on vacation. I moved.
Right.
But also we see there's some things going on.
You see
there.
her mama wore purple. You see.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, all the ladies are going around talking about, like, you know, how's it going with your boo things and yada, yada, yada. And Heather Headley is smitten.
Let me tell you something.
She is in love, and both her and Miro are in love with one another. They're the cutest couple, and they're my favorite for a very specific reason. Actually, for the same reason from the last episode. But even solidified even more. I was like, oh, I like them as a couple. I love them as a couple. Like, why is your cat trying to be a part?
You know, she's always a part of our record.
Oh my gosh.
She just lays in my lap while we record.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Well, you know, she does, Heather Headley does tell the group that, you know, that her man is kind of aloof. You know, he takes his times, and she's really methodical and likes things her way. And, you know, you know, and it cuts to the men folk, and Miro's talking about how he's in love too, and everything is cool, and love is all brand new. But Evil Villain is being a hater-ass nigga, which we find out why, and I feel so bad.
I do too, because... No, I felt bad because that was not right. Now, I do like, because we have seen nothing but, you know, heart eyes and bubbles and shit coming from Miro and Heather Headley. However, you could see a few things coming up because her bossiness is coming into play, as well as his machismo energy at certain times. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm seeing a foreshadowing. But the gargoyle, the gargoyle is upset.
Okay. He
said,
is
well,
just sitting.
It's too early for anybody to say if it's good or not. I'm just saying.
And have you ever noticed he always sits by himself at the head of the table, just mad?
Yep. Yes.
Every scene.
He's like, I don't give a shit. But we'll get to that. So.
Right. And so they cut to Cheese Stick, and Cheese Stick is wasted.
Let me tell you something. Ben Gosling is fucked up. Do you tell this nigga sleeping at the table?
He has, like, I know that he's high. Like, because it's legal there.
I think he's mostly drunk, and he's not used to drinking like her.
That might be it, too, because he is just, like, wasted. Like,
but he's talking about how great it is as he's nodding off while he's doing it, and then pan back to not Mila Kunis, and she's talking about how she can see the challenges arising because of the difference in their politics, views on relationships. Exactly. She's like, he's very Southern conservative, and I'm pro-choice and I was like, oh, okay, he's a Republican, and you are a liberal of the way that y'all like to describe a liberal. So. So she's like, we're gonna have some things to work through. And his little insurrectionist Proud Boys energy comes up later on. And then they have the flashback to not Mila Kunis. Yes,
where they flash back to where that day where he pissed her off at the pool when she was like, oh, we have rules now. And
that wasn't even that day, friend. You know how I know? Because she had on a different outfit. This was another day they were by the pool. So, but look at how much his energy comes into play throughout the whole thing. So clearly that wasn't the last conversation they've had about this.
No. But, you know, she's still, like, happy and whatever. No tea. You know, then Evil Villain, you know, he talks about how he don't feel like this might work because he's like, he got a, you know, rom-com, she got a bunch of friends, and, like, I figured she would.
He was like, what are you guys' biggest challenges? He's like, because mine are her and her band of bitches. It's a lot of them hoes.
That's why she was a bridesmaid 14 times, because she has too many damn friends.
And she's saying it's a lot for her to process because she's been alone, quote unquote, so long. I'm so sick of this goddamn narrative.
Right.
Of so long when you hoes are 26, 27, 28 years old. But she's saying, you know, he has been respectful of her needing to process and so forth, which his patience is coming to an end, as we will talk about shortly.
Right. So, you know, they get to, you know, rom-com does say, you know, she's just not used to being around somebody all the time, which I completely understand. You know, but you also knew what you were getting into.
That.
So don't.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So, Offred starts talking about Anderson .Paak, and she is in love. She's like, he is the perfect man. You know, then she mentions his inability to love.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but we knew that by his hair.
Yeah, obviously. So, you know, she gets a little emotion, you know, because, you know, he's dead inside.
Yeah.
Know? Again.
But now he's on the other side saying how great they are together, and, you know, how he's really reserved, and she says whatever's on her mind. And he's like, now, I agree with most of what she says. He goes, I have to give her that, but I am a little bit more reserved with how I express what's on my mind. And this is where we see some of his controlling ways, which we saw foreshadowings of those through his stringent, structured schedule and all of that. Because #bless asks about intimacy.
And I was like, of course this nigga would ask about sex among the
You
group.
already know. And Graham Cracker says, well, we've been getting along just fine. And Offred says, well, he asked me not to speak on our physical relationship, but we have one, and it has been good. Yeah. You know she want to say more. This is the same bitch was talking about, he ain't take me to Pound Town yet.
Right. Either the dick was that good and it shut her ass up, or she don't want to embarrass him like that.
I think it's the former, actually. Not like she's so smitten with him that it can't be the latter. But that might be the case for somebody else, but we'll get to that. So, you know, Ben Gosling says that they want to be intimate, and they can, but they've decided not to yet. And it's hard at times. Interesting.
I'm sure.
Before he starts nodding off again at the table.
Yeah. Like he had like a Suboxone nod. He was like a methadone clinic nod.
Yeah,
you know what
it was definitely a Heron lean.
Heron lean.
Heron lean. Yeah. And then Gargoyle, so they asked Gargoyle, and he says, well, it's been natural. And things have happened organically, but I will let her give the details of that.
Right. And of course, Rom-Com was like, you know, yeah. And they boned.
They fucked. But I don't think it was good.
No. And it was actually kind of traumatic. She was like, I was drunk, so what the hell? Yeah. So it wasn't like they really, really wanted to. It was just like...
She's like, we're married, so we might as well do this. Heather Headley says their sex life is going well. She's the main one who asked. We knew they would. We know y'all niggas is fucking all over that bathroom, okay? Miro is... Anyway. Again, Offred wants to talk about it, but she's respecting his request to keep their sex life private. Not Angela, which I will tell you, Santana called me, and she agreed with you. I disagree with you both.
I just want you to see it. It's like an optical illusion that you just refuse to see.
What? Because they both got tight eyes?
No, they just have the face.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Let's just end this once and for all, because I can do this right now. Angela, love after lockup. Okay. Images. Great. Okay, now let's go to Haley, married at first sight. Okay, images. Wait, who are these other white
they
bitches?
could be real?
Okay, let me just. All right. Okay, now let's go to Angela. I said Angela.
What's her name on Love After Lockup? Her name was what?
Angela.
No, on Married at First Sight. What's the girl's name?
Haley. I just no, friend. I just don't see it. I mean, I see where you're trying to go with this, but somewhere it just went left. I don't.
You really don't see how they could be related,
because they both got them same eyes, but maybe I just don't see anything else.
Okay.
Anyway, so but not Angela says. She says it happened and she let it happen, and then she don't say nothing else about it. She's like, and yeah, that was it. So I was like, ooh, okay. And here comes Paige.
Sipping her Apersol spritz.
I'm just gonna go ahead and call her Black Christian Weave Lady right now. I'll go back to.
Oh, I'm going back to calling her Black Christian Weave Lady because she pissed me off at the end of the fucking episode.
So she's talking about honoring their vows, and she needs to see it day by day. It's a marathon, and she says if they're down here, if they're like all the way down where they are, then they can only go up from there. And this is where not Mila Kunis starts speaking up quite a bit. Now, side note, everything she was saying was like, I'm worried about her, blah, 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 blah. I was having a hard time just paying attention to what she was saying because of the cadence. She does that question mark thing at the end of everything she says.
She has a vocal fry.
Yeah. She's like, and I'm just really worried about her. And I just don't really like understand why she's doing this. And like, if I dealt with Chris, I would. And I was getting dizzy. So I had to stop paying attention to what she was saying. So #Bless is talking to the niggas about how she's number one and he's going to make sure she's okay through all of this, and the wife comes first and they're working through it. And Ben Gosling's drunk ass is like, you need to step up and man up.
Yeah.
And he calls her that girl, and I don't like it.
He also didn't need to say another nigga to man up.
No.
Step up.
No. But I also did not agree with #Bless either when he was like, well, I told her in front of the world that is manning up. No.
No, it's not.
No,
absolutely
that's
not.
Mm-mm.
Here's my thing. I realize how, like, why not Mila Kunis and she stick her together. Like, because they're both messy and gossipy white people.
Woo, baby, boots.
I see it. They both love mess, and they both like saying that they have nothing to do with it. It's very, like, reality TV show.
It's very Caucasian.
Mm-hmm. And, but also the issue is, the things that they say are things that the audience is saying. Because I did not disagree with Cheese Stick. I thought, he does need to be a man and step up or whatever that means, but he needs to stop being an ain't shit nigga, like, which is valid.
The problem is I don't want to hear it from them.
Right. And also, it's not the time to tell him that right now. You know what I mean?
That is We'll get there.
Right. Timing and messaging, that's the importance of this whole thing. So, I mean, we're going to get to... They all go on a date. They're all winding down to the final days of the honeymoon. So, what's interesting, we don't see... Well, I guess we know now. We don't see Jacob and Haley or evil villain and rom-coms date. But Heather Headley and Miro go indoor air... What do you call indoor skydiving? And then the others go ATV riding. And this is where we have a coconut. So it opens up with, they're all going ATV riding except for the ones we mentioned. And Offred is talking about her concern about Paige, a black Christian weave lady. Mm-hmm. And, she's just like saying how black Christian weave lady doesn't look the same. She just looks, despondent and just like vacant, not there. Just
she's like she's not
the light in her eyes. The light in her eyes is gone. And it's true. She is just.
I mean, listen, like
valid.
Oof. Now, so. Offred and not Mila Kunis kind of corner #blessed and ask how they're doing. Them, not him. He says it's rough, but, Paige has handled it beautifully and that he's lucky. They're saying they would have left. He, kind of nods in agreement. And then they're saying they're concerned because of how she shut down since they've met her. And he's like, it's been difficult, but we're doing well despite the circumstances. He said, but he doesn't feel like everyone's support is genuine. Mm-hmm. We knew exactly where that was directed. Mm-hmm. And he turns to not Mila Kunis because I think even he has to admit that Offred is valid in everything she's saying, which is why he's like... I'm not really going to respond to you anymore.
He definitely stopped talking to her because you can tell he liked her.
Yeah. So, but he does not like them other two. So he's like, I feel like your support is fake and your niggas' support is fake. And I don't appreciate your fake ass concern, which I don't like this nigga, nor am I ever on his side.
I really struggled with this episode because I don't ever want to align myself with anything of this nigga has his ideals, passions, or anything of the sort. However,
howsomever,
in this particular moment, in this 82 minutes of television, because I counted, in this 82 minutes of television, I was on his side. Well, not all of 82 minutes.
Not on his side, but I know,
Because the last 10 minutes, I said, oh, you could go back to hell where you came from.
Truth be told. But, so he's there. So not Mila Kunis is getting highly offended at this point, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't really tell the vicinity of where the other husbands are until Ben Gosling kind of comes into the frame. Graham Cracker set his mind go fast back the whole time. Like, I didn't even think this nigga even knew the argument was happening until we saw his little face. Right. So, but he's like, I don't appreciate you all's fake concern, and I'm gonna be real honest with you. Yes, I think it's fake. Me too. And not Mila Kunis calls bullshit. She's like, I don't no, my concern is not fake. Like, we love Paige, that's our friend. And he's like, that's not your fucking friend. Like, you just met her. I was like, that's a nigga ass response.
Yeah.
Now he says, Offred asked him about what his plan is, and he says that's between us. And she backs off.
She does.
She backs off. Not Mila Kunis does not.
Mm-hmm.
And Offred, this is where I appreciated her, because she said, I don't need to know the details of what's going to happen between you all. I'm just letting you know my concern is for Paige.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it should be. So he starts talking about not Mila Kunis and Ben Gosling's comments the other day, and, you know, their inappropriate and disrespectful comments about them bringing up, is that really your baby or whatever? Like, are you sure it's yours? And he basically tells her to stay the fuck out his business. Straight like that. And then the next part, I hollered. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. Because then he goes on to call, you know, she's like, we're just concerned. And then hashtag Bless goes, well, I'm concerned about y'all. Y'all just be walking around here drunk all the goddamn time.
She said, you're arrogant. I do think you're arrogant. Yeah. He goes, and you're a drunk.
Right. Now, Alfred cuts in her confessional and blames everything on not Mila Kunis. Because she was just like, this bitch would just not shut the fuck up.
She's like, why would you poke a bear while it's mad? She's like, like, the nigga is mad. She's like, and he has an attitude problem. Let's be clear. She wasn't agreeing with him either in the sense where she, you know, was on his side. It's the same thing as us. But she was just like, you are not helping the situation by antagonizing a person who is already not rational. And then they're getting upset. You're not helping.
Cheese Stick comes in talking about he just wants the best, and Bless calls him a drunk too. So he's just like, just cool, you know, just relax, man. And hashtag Bless is like, just don't touch me. Just leave me alone. Mind my business. I asked you off for peace and distance and whatever, but you refused to give it to me. So then they all go over to Paige and like, we're so sorry.
That's when we finally see a glimpse of Graham Cracker.
And we support you, and yada, yada, yada. And then hashtag Bless is now pissed, because he was just like, okay, just because you go... She's my wife, though. Like, even though it's dumb. But still, like, what? No, no. Fuck all of y'all. And so then he declares chaos and negativity. Before he gets in the van, he said, oh, now I'm going to make everybody in this 2-hour ride a living hell.
He was like, oh, y'all thought this bus ride was about to be peaceful?
Yeah. Fuck everybody.
Nah, he's super sexist because he was like, you're not one of the guys, so I don't want to talk to you. It wasn't about them not being friends or not being people he knew. He didn't want to talk to them because they weren't men. Because he didn't have that same energy for the niggas outside of Ben Gosling once Ben Gosling got out of pocket or whatever. But he didn't keep that same energy. Now, granted, Graham Cracker didn't do shit to talk to his fellow black man because he don't think he's black.
Well, I wouldn't talk to that nigga either. So.
I wouldn't either, truth be told. I could, in all honesty... In all honesty, I would not even talk to this nigga at all. I'd be like, you know what? Let's wait until the next phase of this.
Yeah, you got that. Whatever you say, King. Sure.
Yeah, whatever you say, King. In your plaid suit. So, so they get in the van, and he is talking wild shit to not Mila Kunis, saying he don't give a fuck about her. And this is the first time we've seen Black Christian Weave Lady raise her voice, because she's like, can you all just leave him alone? This is out of control. Can you all just leave him alone right now, because he is not in his right mind.
Right. At all. So fast forward. Yeah.
This is where we can go into the individual couples and then go to the final dinner.
Well, but no, because they still have, when they did, because we go back to the couples after the dinner, too.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It makes sense to continue the group stuff and then go.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right.
Because remember, evil villain of rom-coms, a big issue happened after the thing. Okay. So, the last group thing that they have right before they go back to Atlanta is the final dinner at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. So Paige, or Black Christian Weave Lady, addresses the table, and she that she was wearing lemonade yellow. So
you know I peeped. They don't love you like I love you.
Right. And so she's like, I appreciate the support. I know it was a little hectic and chaotic earlier, but I appreciate you all looking out for me. And hashtag blessed explained, his frustration and his need for space, and which he was very valid about. Nobody gave him the space. I mean, he handled his situation horrifically.
Ooh, poorly, child, poorly.
Yes, like poorly. But they also did not grant him the space to process that. But also, you can't really do that on a reality TV show.
No.
So,
but Alfred and them did it in the right way, though.
They did.
There's a way.
They did. So he explains that after they got back from the horrific day trip, that Black Christian Weave Lady and him prayed together after his grandmother suggested.
Juanita.
That they prayed together, and he felt better, and so he publicly apologized to Paige, or Black Christian Weave Lady. And in the confessional, even Villain is calling bullshit. He's like, I don't care, but he's like, I don't.
He's like, I don't give a shit, and I'm ready to eat.
Bring on the steak.
But hashtag blessed is like, he gained some new appreciation for her. He was like, she was able to do something for me that my grandmother and my great grandmother have always done for me by laying hands and praying over me. And he's like, you've been a woman of God. He said it to her publicly, but I have not been a man of God. But I knew that was too good to be true. I could just see the bullshit brew.
When niggas fuck up, they always think that they had like a heart attack or something, and that they got like revived to life and shit. And so they're on this tour that they see newly and all this good stuff. I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
I'm like, all right, nigga.
Like
so
survive fucking cancer and shit.
But I was dying at Gargoyle. So then hashtag bless apologizes to Alfred and Anderson Graham Cracker for being disrespectful. Alfred apologizes also for any part that she played in the disrespect, and it kind of was just like it was kind of ending on a peaceful note, and everybody was squashing it. And then the drunk show up, mad late.
Now, I wasn't really paying attention that hard because I thought he was just purposely not apologizing to Cheese Stick and not Mila Kunis, because I was about to be like, valid.
I didn't realize they weren't there until they were there.
Right.
So she comes in with her lilac dress and a freakum dress and her white heels. Starting shit. You like talking shit?
Yeah.
So they sit down at the table, apologize for being late. Mind you, let me tell you, they are egregiously late. Everybody has ordered food. I'm sure there have been at least 2 rounds of cocktails, the appetizers, amuse-bouches. Like these niggas are egregiously late. And then she sits down at the table and she's like, I need a shot. Paige, do you need a shot?
Like, bitch, hold on.
What are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing? And this is right on the brink of all of this peace coming over.
Right.
Over the group.
Like Mary J. Blige's Peace came on and everybody's just, oh.
And then Kendu and his light eyes entered the building. And so Cheese Stick is talking about establishing boundaries, and you don't talk to my wife ever the way that you did earlier. Why didn't you? First of all, you should have had that energy in the moment, my nigga. This ain't the time. You don't just come to the dinner, dick on the table. It's late. You don't see no glasses flying, so clearly niggas are getting along. You all are the ones who brought the energy. And let's be clear, again, this is not in defense of hashtag blessed, because that nigga is wretched and rotten. Mm-hmm. So, and of course she's antagonizing the situation, and she's like, I've never been so disrespected in my life, while Ben Gosling is going off about how you ain't never gonna talk to my wife again like that. And she's like, if it would have been my brothers and my dad, it would have been a different situation, and blah 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 blah. Graham Cracker speaks up And he's like, now hold on now. Before you all came, he was in the midst of apologizing. And I don't want anything hyped up when we are in a moment of de-escalation. But at this point now, Cheese's already giving energy. So #Bless is like, no, keep going, my nigga, keep going.
Yeah, he said, I appreciate that, but we don't address what he just said. I said, that's right. Because you're not going to come up here and come at me like when it was your missus who talked to me all types of crazy at first.
At first she did. And your missus is in my business. My business is foul business.
Right. After I've told you all to leave me alone several times. But you refused to do it out of the fake guise of care for Paige. Yeah.
So y'all are never going to talk to Paige after this project is over again. Like, you're going to like a couple of her Instagram pictures. Cheese Stick is never going to follow her. Not Mila Kunis is going to like a couple of her pictures here and there out of obligation and like comment on nice things that happen in her life on social media. But y'all don't really give a fuck about this black girl. So stop pretending that you do. That's the issue that I have. And so at this point, #Bless is getting riled up. Cheese Stick is like, I don't know what he's doing. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then they say they're going to leave. So she, goes stomping out in her white clod hoppers. And Miro is pushing #Bless away because he's like, I don't want no problems. He's like doing the nigga block and all of that.
Yeah, he's taking out several friends in that manner.
Oh, you can tell where you have to like follow them around because they're gonna try and go around you and all kinds of shit.
The Remy Ma effect.
Yes, or the Cardi B. So the whites leave, and Alfred calls out not Mila Kunis for taking unnecessary jabs and making the situation worse.
Again, Alfred, she's here for the people.
Yeah, she is.
She's trying to get free, just like the rest of us.
Not Mila Kunis, while she's talking about her brothers and her daddy. She's essentially telling us between the lines that if they were there, they would have lynched #Blessed.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Birdie
that
Cross.
was her version of calling Pookie and them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. She's like, call her relatives,
A nigger whistled at me. And it's like, oh, man, here we go.
Right. Like, Bobby Ray.
You already know.
And Bobby John, all them gonna come down and, with their skinning knives and shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So,
God. Slavery's not funny. So,
but that wasn't about slavery. This is about racism.
And sometimes that is funny.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, again.
Sorry, I just thought about you. Because I thought about your group chat name.
FNQ.
Oh, God. I can't. Woo, sometimes y'all be taking digs and they just be funny. They like, bitch, that was a good one, actually. Yeah. So Miro is taking #Bless side because he understands how anybody would have reacted in that moment, especially if they were in the midst of an apology and then somebody came and putting their dick on the table.
And Heather Headley goes down with Paige, and she's a true friend. I was like, this is the woman you need in your sister circle right here.
Black girl
right
talk. They were having black girl talk. That's what they have.
Right. All right. And she agreed too. She was just like, Heather Headley was like, you also better than me because I would have fought the bitch. But that's what I realized. That Brianna a little rah-rah, which I'm into.
Yeah, you could tell by some of this. Yeah, no, she is. She's like black girl gone profesh. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Mama said wifey at the altar. So
she did. Yeah, she did.
Because she was like, well, I thought Chris was ready to air that bitch out. Like
that was the one she like. He was ready to air that bitch out, and the way I was like, oh yeah, you a nigga raised in a nigga ass family. I live. I live.
That's what I was like. Oh, y'all gonna be together for a minute.
Yo, because they are both a particular level of urban. that just fits together like puzzle pieces.
Yeah, they on Instagram and in love and shit. Like they legit and they love each other. I'm here for it. They're really cute.
And but Paige says, I did speak to him in the room earlier, and I did tell him what he did was dead wrong for how he spoke to those women. Like, you don't talk to them like that. And so I have to give her props. This is where I got to call her Paige. I have to give her props for the way that she keeps her calm in situations where she might not necessarily have to.
What's that denim jacket she wears?
Child, I know. It's the Jack and Jill. It's the Jack and Jill.
What's that denim jacket? She, her I'm gone attire.
When she put on that denim jacket over that maxi dress, I was like, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Woo. So you want to go into some of the individual things with the couples?
Yes. Let's end with Evil Villain and Rom-Com because that shit was fucked up.
Down for the get down, nigga. I was like, oh, I was not expecting that.
Right. So let's go with Anderson .Paak and Offred.
That's where we at.
Right. So, they talk about, their morning routine, and he eats the same breakfast every day, a smoothie and a Kind bar.
My note says, of course he eats the same breakfast every day, and it's a smoothie.
Yeah. Smoothie and a Kind bar.
That's it.
Because I'm sure that goes with his workout, because I'm sure he works out at lunchtime.
You know he does.
He be counting his macros and his micros.
And he wears shower shoes because he's a little too anal to not.
Yeah, he does.
The black peeks out where it wants to, just in the facial hair, the pubes, and exactly. The facial hair, the pubes, and a couple of different things.
Yeah.
But for the most part, no. Go ahead.
So he goes on to ask her, more OK Cupid questions, like what's your favorite high school memory? And of course, Offred tells us that, she was in productions, honey. She was in drama and music.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, Katy Perry, I see you. Baby, you're a firework. Right. Can I tell you, so we just got cable, right? And it was the worst decision ever.
Damn.
Because now I have 235 channels to scroll through and still find nothing to watch. However, I did stumble upon American Idol.
Oh, you've been watching that?
Watching is a strong word. I have been. I tuned in one evening to watch it, and it's weird. Like outside of the pandemic stuff, like it's just a totally different show.
Yeah, I imagine it is. Who's on there now?
It's Lionel Richie, some other white man who's a country singer, because they have to add that now.
Always.
And Katy Perry. And the reason why I brought this up is because this little white girl was singing a Motley Crue song, and she killed it. But they wanted her to sing something more soulful, so she sang At Last by Etta James. And so Katy Perry, the songstress that she is, she helped, she was helping the young lady sing the song.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, if you want to call it that.
But the young lady clearly can sing better than her.
Yes. Right. So the embarrassment that ensued second-handedly is why I had to turn it off.
What did Lionel Richie's face look like while this was going on?
Well, he only has one face nowadays.
I forgot he's on his RuPaul. I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, honey.
Like,
you were well. Yeah.
Okay. No, you're right.
Lionel Richie looks like he's...
up.
Yeah, he looks like he's currently trying really, really hard not to be Lionel Richie when he really is in fact Lionel Richie.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
But anywho, Anderson .Paak says that he was the class clown in high school. I don't see it, but I know his brother is funny. I don't know about him.
So he's like a comedian in 85 South.
No, he just one of the funny niggas with them. Like he don't be like he just a part. Like how
did you
niggas have
find out
cliques?
he was a part of that?
Instagram.
Where?
Oh, I had the real tea is when you look in the tagged photos.
Okay, but whose page did you look at initially?
Oh, I looked at his. Well, I looked at Anderson .Paak's page to get to his page.
Oh, Anderson, did we follow him?
I don't know if I did. You could check.
Let me check. Oh.
But yeah, that's how I found it.
Okay. Well, friend.
He also showed up one day in my Explore page too.
I thought he didn't have a social media.
No, they all do.
All these Love After Lockup people we follow. Wait, so his name would be Ryan something, right?
I don't know. I looked this up like a couple weeks ago. I might be.
All right, I'll have to find this.
I'm sure listeners tweet Jade. I think his name is Chad.
It's Chad.
I think that's his brother's name. Yeah, send Chad over his Instagram because I know you guys have seen it too. But anywho, they're talking about their social media from back in the day, and they're exchanging AIM screen names, all the good stuff. They're vibing really well. And she talks about how she's open in love, and he explains how he's the opposite and how he's never been in love before or has never shared it. And that freaks her out a bit. So after the main dinner and after the horrible day, they're debriefing the day, and he commends her on being open, like speaking her mind, and that she's right in everything that she says. However, he tells her that she needs to control some of the things that she says. And she's beginning to feel a little controlled. Now, in this situation alone, it is okay to have thoughts and opinions and keeping them to yourself, which is what he was trying to explain. He was like, there are some times where you just got to keep the peace for, like you don't need to shake the table unless it's shaken for you. You know what I mean? And I agreed. Like, she did, I gave her credit. She did not do the complete white woman thing like her other counterpart did. And not Mila and Cheese Stick. I do think that he has the propensity to be controlling.
Yes, because, and it's his verbiage, because for one, he said, I've gotten stressed when people didn't do things the way I thought they should. And you could see how she looked at him when he said that. And he's like, I've learned more in life listening than speaking. Okay, very valid. All the things he said about wanting her to express herself, but controlling what comes out of her mouth, which I was like, And he goes, I just want her to be the best representation of herself. Well, why is her not being the outspoken person she is not the best representation of herself? That's where I saw the red flags of controlling elements, aside from what I said earlier.
I didn't take that statement as that. I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree, but I think in this particular moment, like, in order to be your best self, sometimes you do gotta shut the fuck up when it comes to other people's relationship and marriages. You know, I think
that is valid. That is valid specifically as it pertains to that. But I didn't know if he was just talking about that or if he was using that as a roundabout way to say this is my views.
Oh, got it. Yeah, but I do see this this little control thing coming up a little more aggressively soon.
Oh, he made his page private.
Oh, Chad made his page private?
No, not Chad. Ryan.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
But my God, are they different?
Mm-hmm.
My God, are they different?
Night and day, literally.
Ooh, honey.
Mm-hmm.
They are different.
Let's move on to Mila Kunis and Cheese Stick.
Yes.
Do you want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break and come back to them.
All right, let's take a break and we'll be back after these messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
This is the blackest show about nothing.
This is Jade and XD. I'm Jade.
And I'm XD.
The show is two best friends talking about anything and everything.
And sometimes we have awesome people on, like Crystal and Kid Fury from The Read.
When I was in high school, there was this girl in my computers class with me. I wish I could remember her name so I could apologize. But I just used to call her Atrocious, like, as, you know, a pet name, because... Hey, Atrocious! Being someone who was constantly the butt of a joke or picked on or whatever, I just saw this opportunity to, like, make fun of somebody else, and I did it.
Somebody needs to do a study into silver teeth and the link between, like,
the
silver tooth to prison pipeline.
Yeah, silver tooth to prison pipeline.
And New York Times bestselling author Michael Arsenault.
And Mama kept trying to interject at any moment that she could sing, and it was like, beloved, you're not even the best singer on stage. The girl from Destiny's Child is with the Platinum Soul album. It's like, not you.
And of course, there's us,
Jade
and XD.
You can listen to new podcast episodes every week on Fridays.
Listen to Jade and XD
for free on Spotify.
And we're back talking about Married at First Sight.
Oh, the mess.
Mila Kunis and Cheese Stick.
Okay. Like we said, she was asking for pina coladas first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm. He looks like what he's been through the last few days. You know, he looks like he's just got off a bender. And they don't really have a moment to themselves until this one moment where they're together in the hotel room, and it looks like they've had like a fucking rock star party in it. There's liquor everywhere. He had a hangover for real, because they were drinking Fireball, which is disgusting.
They had Fireball, tequila, Coors Light. It looked like a recipe for diarrhea.
It looked like a high school party.
Tito's, vodka. It was vodka, not tequila. Tito's and fucking. Oh God, I was like, this is a headache, and you could tell she's 26.
Yeah, right. And you know, Cheese Stick is the real agitator, and he's like, I can't do this, man. Like, I get it. We out here having fun and shit, but like, when we get back to Atlanta, nah, this ain't me.
He's like, I can't. This is not my life. I can't drink like this. And she's like, well, me and my friends go drinking Thursday through Sunday or whatever the fuck she said.
Thursday through Saturday.
And he's like, I can't do that with my career. Like, I'm a pilot. I fly people. And she's like, well, we're going to have to find ways to mesh our lives.
And, you know, he's just kind of like, I don't know what to say to you. And he goes on talking about knowing what marriage is and how it works. And I'm like, sir, you got married, it failed, and you said it wasn't a real marriage, so relax. But he tries to be stern, and he's a bit of an asshole. He was like, you need to understand that this isn't going to work if, you know, you're out here the way you are. You have to understand that you are married to me.
Which I don't like his tone, and I don't like the way he speaks to her. The sentiments are valid. Not that you are married to me, but the, hey, you chose to get married. So while I understand this is your life and this is what you do, I don't want to control that aspect of it. Things are not going to be exactly the way as you had them before because you chose this life, like you chose this path. So, he's like, I don't want to take you away from your friends, but I can't be doing all of that. I just can't be doing it. And she's like, well, I would like for you to integrate yourself into my life or whatever. And he's like, but I can't do that. And I can't go out the way that you all do and drink the way that you do. She's like, well, you're going to have to be okay with me going out.
Right.
And he's like, as long as you respect our relationship and how, you know, what boundaries are and whatever. It's that you're with me, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
You talking to me like a kid.
Yeah, it felt very dad-ish.
And it was a red flag. That was a red flag. Your sentiments outside of that were not, but that side of it was. On the other side of things, she does not seem to have it in her mind to have any balance or to have or to figure out how to navigate things now as a woman with a partner, just as a person with a partner, just like we live together and we have to figure out how to meld our lives together. She wants to be able to do exactly what she was doing prior to marriage. Exactly.
Exactly. And it doesn't work that way.
No, that's not.
Your life changes when you become partnered. So
yeah.
Especially if
you got to figure out how to blend. You just got to figure out how to blend together. Like, Tristan never ever tries to control me hanging out with my friends. If I say, "Oh, I'm going to Fran's house" or whatever, like that's not a problem. But nigga, we run a household together. So you really think that I have time to be going Thursday through Saturday or Thursday through Sunday, just to be going to do everything that I want to do, and be like, "All right, I'll be back." No, Right. No. So, they go back to talking about their dogs and shit, and their dogs meeting. You know, she says her dog is mean. I'm not surprised. It's probably a brat like she is. And, you know, she's kind of bothered by the situation earlier, by the dinner, because she's like, I don't like people being mad at me. I have a real problem with that. And the main thing we see is that she didn't like being called fake.
Yeah, she didn't like that shit at all. That really hurt her.
That was her biggest issue. She was not hurt. Her ego was damaged. I was like, okay, this like white woman making it about you situation is, you've taken zero accountability in any of this. You didn't say nothing about how I could have scaled back knowing that somebody was not in a mindset to be arguing with me or what have you, but you didn't do that. So
not at all.
What she did say though is that she feels like this situation there has helped them to avoid talking about their own issues. And there is going to come to a point where they're going to have to hash out their differences.
Right. They both believe that #Bless is using them as a stress relief. Like, are using them as a punching bag. Again, both of them refusing to accept any type of accountability because they don't feel like they did anything wrong.
Yep. Which is going to seep into their own marriage.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very soon, too. So, let's go with
Heather Headley and Miro.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, we need to do them, and I forgot why. Yeah, because I'm looking at the notes. I was like, oh, right, where Messer's at.
Mm-hmm.
So, back to our favorite couple, Heather Headley and Miro. They just in love, and, you know, she's becoming a little annoyed by his habits.
And she's becoming a little annoying as well.
Absolutely. but nothing too wild. It's just getting to know you type of stuff.
Yeah.
She asked him in bed, like, have I annoyed you yet? And he's like,
Now, earlier when she was talking to the homegirls and she was telling them that she was like, put your phone down. That's not what you don't tell an adult to put their phone down.
Right.
There are ways to say things. And also, we have to understand there are ways to say things to progress a conversation or, to gas it up. You don't tell a grown person, man, woman, anybody, to put their phone down. You can remind somebody. You can be like, "We running short on time," but but they grown at the end of the day, partner or no partner.
Right.
Unless it's something that's affecting y'all, he's going to hang with the niggas. So leave if you ready. Leave.
Right. So, they talk in bed about, and she's explained, and they have really good communication, how they argue or express themselves. It's never, from what we can tell, let me say that. She expresses that he annoyed her that day. So, when the cameras were off, they got into it. We don't know how intense it was, but you could tell, like, the next day they were in love, but you could tell there was some still soreness there.
There was a little shift. Now, we saw his stubborn side now.
Yes.
Because when she told him that he annoyed her today, he, got stoic. Now, we don't know all the ins and outs, obviously, because of how it's cut. But we see how he, kind of sterns up a little bit, and he's like, oh, well, I don't like nobody telling me stuff, and if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. And I was like, there's a flag right there. I'm seeing flags on both of their ends between that, because even in the bathroom at the top when they were doing their nighttime routines, she's like, oh, you want to try my wipe? She's like, it's really good for your skin. You don't do nothing but this? Try this. Da-da. Okay, fine. We can do that. Try this. Do this. But then she's like, do you floss? And it's, girl, it's a grown man. He got all his teeth and he had them before he met you. But on his side of things, we can see where he is going to, he's going to have some of his issues. So they go skydiving the next day. They go to bed irritated. And then they go skydiving the next day. And this is where I also was like, because he says, we had a talk after the cameras were off because I perceived her as being assertive as disrespectful. And I find disrespectful to be an interesting choice of words.
I don't feel like assertiveness was also his right choice of words either. Because why would you be disrespected by assertiveness?
By somebody being assertive, exactly.
Right. So something tells me that she might have said something that emasculated him, or he felt emasculated in a way, and pissed him off. And he responded in a manner that she did not like.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know exactly what was said. It could be that. It could be that she said something that actually wasn't rooted in any of that, and he took it a certain way.
Absolutely.
We're not
because
sure.
He's very hot-headed.
And you can see where he's trying to keep it at bay, but it's definitely it's showing its little head. And she starts talking about the last relationship she was in. I think she's one of the few who hasn't really talked about.
She hasn't.
many of her past relationships, and she's like, the last guy I dated didn't accept me or my support. That's another thing I've kind of seen a little bit too, is that it's a lot of like, how you feeling? How you doing? How you doing? And sometimes people just need to just be. So that can be overwhelming for people, and I'm wondering if also that might have played a part in it. But she also said he didn't care to impress me. And she's like, he didn't care to like do anything to make me feel special. I didn't take that as a brattiness type of, it was like he just didn't care to like do it up for me sometimes. And she's like, I appreciate the fact that Miro wants to impress me. Like he wants to kind of show up and like make me feel good. She's like, that makes me feel good. But she says she is trying to figure him out, and that they had challenges the day before.
Yeah, I think her consistently asking those questions are because she don't know him.
Right, which is fair.
So
but,
she doesn't know how he, operates and that kind of thing. So what does comfortable silence look like? Because sometimes couples don't know what that looks like.
No, that's true. And I think she's also having some realizations about herself. It seems like she is, I'm not going to say she, because they get along well, but I am seeing a little bit more where she's able to bend more than he is, which I don't know if that's a good thing. Because she's really realizing her bossy elements. And she's like, I don't want it to come off that way. And it upset me because I don't want to be perceived as rude. She's like, I'm not a rude person, and there may need to be some adjustments I have to make just as a person who's been living a certain way for a certain amount of time and now has to adjust to having somebody else in that space, which is very fair. It's very fair. He, on the other hand, is like, well, there's no other way to say whatever he said. And she's like, I don't want to hold you back. I want you to say whatever's on your mind because we're each other's safe space. And he's like, I don't want to blow up on you. And I was like,
Yeah. I feel like this is where cultural differences come into play.
Yeah.
And I also wonder, when they sign up for this show, do they have to be in some sort of like therapy or counseling? If not, they should, because in order for reach across cultural, and this is like, instead of not interracial but intraracial, you know what I mean, like amongst niggas. So there's got to be some. Like, I could see how him being staunchly Dominican is impacting how he does things or how he responds to things. Yeah. I say staunchly based on how he dresses. So,
baby, because that short sleeve open button up in that motherfucking hat. I said, you better give me Caribbean Poppy.
There's a show on CBS called Tough as Nails, hosted by the guy from Amazing Race. And there's this guy on there named Luis. It's a construction worker type show. And this nigga named Luis, straight from the Bronx, he wears a muscle shirt, skinny jeans, and Timbs to do construction.
Oh, yes, he does. I know he does. And he wears a belt, and it's got a large buckle on it, doesn't it?
He does. Yes, it does. And he is doing masonry and everything in this scantily clad thought fit.
I'm the number one Yankees fan.
Number one Daddy Yankee fan.
Daddy Yankee.
Oh, you know Tiger Woods is in the hospital?
You said what?
You know Tiger Woods is in the hospital?
For what?
Girl, car crash today. They had to get the jaws of life.
Stop. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's way too close. It's been a year, almost about a year since Kobe passed, too.
Oh, no, it was a year just passed. Wow. Well, you know what? We're going to hope that he's okay.
Hope for the best.
Put some good energy out there. Who we read? Hashtag blessed and Black Christian Weave lady.
Yeah.
Because that's who she is for the rest of this episode.
Yeah. So, they don't really have much to talk about for the most part before the dinner, except, you know, she talks about his comfort level with dogs, and he just kind of like dismisses her dogs, even though her dog is like her world. And she's like, hold up. You expect me to deal with, you know, your issues, and mind you have a lot of them. And you don't even have the common courtesy to, you know, say what up to my dog or take it out, you know, for a walk every
She's
now
like,
and then.
I've agreed to be a whole bonus mother to your unborn child who is on the way right after we got married. And you don't want to take my dog to pee?
Right.
She's like, I don't even want to bring the dog because I don't know how you going to act. No, bitch, don't bring yourself. How about that? Like, take these signs. And so he asked her what she's bringing to the house. She said she's going to bring some clothes and all the wedding gifts she got from her friends and family. And this raggedy ass nigga says, oh, we can split them 50-50. First of all, I would have never told his black ass about those gifts.
Never, ever. That was my first thought. I would have left them shits back in my home in Duluth or wherever the fuck I lived in Georgia. Fayetteville, wherever. And let that nigga know boo about anything, because fuck him.
No, she's like, I'm about to furnish my home, my rental home in Conyers because I
okay,
a bitch got a KitchenAid, an extra one, and it's about to get busy. So then he asked her how she feels about joint bank accounts. She says she only makes a third of what he makes. He tries to make a jab joke and say she makes a quarter of what he makes. I sat there and said, well, this is how a nigga who owns a Subway goes broke. Because you sitting up here, first of all, you trying to downplay what this bitch does. She's a real estate agent. She's she's not. She's a finance person.
She's a CPA.
A CPA. She also has her rental property. Like, she's setting herself up. You own a Subway that you're not paying rent on.
Oh yeah, she owns a home that she collects rent on. Like,
exactly.
She makes dough.
You own a Subway that you do not pay rent on.
Right.
But you want to act like your dick is bigger in this situation. So
you up here got issue with the Better Business Bureau and shit.
That's why he really don't want no joint bank accounts. He said, I don't believe in joint bank accounts. I'll give you whatever you need, but not a joint account. Well, A, you don't want her to see that you spend money on hookers.
Judy's just a hooker.
Yeah, you don't want to see that you spend money on hookers. And then on top of that, you don't want her to see that you're actually quite broke and manage your money poorly. That's what you don't want. Because I know what kind of ambulance that was. And then you don't want...
Because I was going to say something, and I was like, nope, y'all not going to carry me today.
No. But you don't want her to see that you have poor money management. You don't want her to see what you really bringing in. You don't want her to see that you just literally don't know how to manage your funds. But you're trying to make it seem like you don't want bitches coming after your money when you really don't have none like that. You don't have no assets, nigga. You don't have shit. Yeah. Your dumbass was the one who told us you was living in a rental car for 4 months. What kind of backwards ass shit is that?
But you know what, though? I don't believe in joint accounts either.
Me neither, nigga. But
and honestly, she shouldn't even be upset at him not wanting joint accounts. Like,
she's upset because the illusion of marriage to her is everything comes together. We are this partnership. We have these, like, she wants that quintessential 60s, like, she doesn't want to stay at home. Maybe not in that way, but you know what I mean. She wants like that marriage. She's like, I want everything, including the joint bank account, because if we don't have the joint bank account, then why are we married? She's like, it don't have anything to do with the money. She wants the joint account. She wants the name. She wants the ring. She wants the marriage shit.
That's so gross. I want her to be delivered.
I do, because
Loose
she keeps
yourself.
talking about how God might have set this in place and we don't know his bigger plan. And bitch, God did not intend for this raggedy ass shit to happen in your life like this.
Right.
God did not intend for you to have no raggedy ass nigga in your life who literally has a baby on the way and has dogged you out on national TV and in your face and all over the place, all over these cameras, playing in your face, and then tells you the next day that he's more attracted to you and he wants you to show your ass at the airport. Like, God don't have shit to do with none of that. Spirit, nobody. Your ancestors are over there shaking their head. Your God, everybody involved.
Everybody.
Your guides, your whoever, they are all shaking their heads at you. This is not what anybody intended for your life's plan, Queen.
At all. And like, it comes to a head even further when after the dinner, they're packing and getting ready to go, and she asked him about the relationship with the future child's mother, and he says the thought has crossed his mind about getting back with the lady. He addresses that they have been speaking, and and that he's been talking to the ex and he still loves her. And so, Black Christian Weave Lady is like, hold on. First of all, I didn't know you was talking to the hooker, to the heifer.
Like, well, I don't think she didn't assume he wasn't speaking to her. She didn't know they were speaking about getting back together. And he's like, well, we've talked about what it looks like raising a child in separate homes and a home together. Like, we don't know what things are going to look like. Last week we had each other blocked, and this week she's pregnant.
It's like, yeah, because then he starts gaslighting, because she gets pissed, and she leaves because like she's this bullshit, like this is bullshit, like you sat up here and played in my face talking about you didn't know what you were going to do, like I'm your wife, or you're my wife, and this doesn't matter. Now all of a sudden you talking about or entertaining a conversation about getting back together, and he's like, I didn't say we were going to get back together. I'm just saying we were exploring what it would look like. Yeah. And she's just like, but she does something even more frustrating. She believes every word that he says.
Ooh.
She said that I believe in this process. And I believe that, we're meant to be together. And she's like, I see you in a whole new light now. And she's all open. And
But the thing is, what really blew me was when she said, I was okay with him having a child. But him saying he wants to raise his child with the mother is ignoring the covenant we made to God. Right. What? This nigga has told you he's not attracted to you. No,
several times.
Not only said that, because okay, whatever, we speak what's on our minds. It's a dickhead thing, but he said you're not attracted. You're not a specific type. Then he said you're not attractive to him. Then he said it to your homegirls. Then he said it to you, and on TV after he fucked you. Then he said, I'm not even gonna take your dog out to pee. The nigga can't sleep on the bed, I'll throw a bone and he can go catch it.
Yeah. I want her to love herself.
Way more. I do. I really, really do. And really get off of this shit about how you're supposed to endure all of this bullshit in the name of a fucking covenant or
I want her to stop going.
Please.
I want her to miss a couple Sundays. You know what I mean?
Miss a couple Sundays. You know, skip over a couple of those church plays. Like,
yeah.
Bitch, get a grip.
Subscribe. You know, just leave the. Not even Tyler Perry plays, but just in general, like the Chitlin circuit. Just don't watch those.
None of them, because we got to deprogram a little bit of.
And
this
I know
bullshit.
she listens to Christian rap, so that also is a problem.
Oh no, the thing about it is, no, the bitch does not listen to Christian rap. She listens to nigga ass music.
Oh yeah, because she was like, I can't keep it a stack and yada yada.
Yeah,
yada. Like the hood.
No, it comes out like the black comes out. But she's like, I'm frustrated because we're not on the same page. How can he tell that? You know, how can he tell me that he's had these types of conversations with his ex? He didn't say shit about them getting back together or any of that. And the gaslighting, the house is about to blow up because this nigga says, you haven't asked me shit about the kid, my ex, nothing. He doesn't say my ex either. He says my fiance.
My eyes burst into flames.
Now I'm gonna tell you when my eyes. It wasn't even then that my eyes burst into flames. The flames were arising, but it was when she then feeds into the gaslighting and goes, "Well, I didn't feel comfortable asking you, even though if we rewind back, but not even just that." Not even just that. Again, yes, why the fuck should you? Yes. But if we rewind back, one of the very first things she did after she found out and calmed down was say, how is she? So you are totally gaslighting and lying. And this is why gaslighting is so fucking dangerous, because people get caught up in that shit and then they start to believe that to actually be true.
Mind games is it's a mind game, man. Don't fall into it.
He says, you can't say I didn't tell you nothing when you didn't ask.
But you're the one that got the issue, though.
You the one with the issue. And he said if he leaves now, he can go be with his ex today, but he wants to be a man of integrity. When I tell you I want to slap the fucking Vaseline off of his face, I hate this nigga.
If you don't want me, don't talk to me.
Go ahead and free yourself. So this is why she's Black Christian Weave Lady again. Because she goes back into the entire spiel about how she cares about him and she wants to see why the experts matched them. But she wants to be clear that she's his wife and that there needs to be changes within their relationship. And he's like, I want to work through this. And, nobody has to stay. And yesterday I started seeing you differently. And I'm attracted to you now. And she's gushing.
Open.
And I'm disgusted. Because this bitch says she prays he is her person for the rest of her life. Because they have a potentially beautiful story.
Beast.
Bitch, you have seen hell in 3 days.
Right. Like, girl,
there's optimism and there is delusion, honey. And you are teetering.
Okay. Almost psychosis, honestly.
You have tipped. You've tipped. So, she's 26. And I try to keep that in mind. But I wouldn't have done it. Let me not say that.
No, I've done some dumb shit too.
I've done some dumb shit, but these levels right here, like this level of delusion, I don't think I don't know. Maybe I have. I'm not sure. Maybe I have. I don't know. We'll see what happens with them, though.
So finally, before we end this, because this is a long episode.
Oh, this is the only episode, actually.
Okay. Yeah, but evil villain and rom-com.
Ooh, baby, I never thought we would end with them.
Never. And I'm rarely gagged at like things on reality TV because I kind of see shit coming, but I did not see the end of this happening.
at all.
So, and I feel bad because I want to see what like Heather Headley and Miro say about it in the next episode.
Because their comment, their little, it's their nonverbal, it's their nonverbal communication that really just like gives me the giggles.
Right. So they open with they're talking about the challenges of moving in with one another. Mm-hmm. But the conversation moves into him, asking about her being guarded and her comfort level with intimacy because, he tries and she like kind of just shuts down or backs away. And, he's like, is it me? Like, is it something wrong that I'm doing? I'm just going to retreat until she figures it out. So he seems intense, but he's really trying to figure out, like,
No, he is.
Do you like me or not? Like, I don't know. And we learn that, she gives him the blankest stare because she's just like,
It is. It's so awkward.
And, he drops it on the ball and he's like, ever since we had sex, shit ain't been the same.
That's when I was like, oh, it wasn't good. Yeah. And it probably was just fast because it's been a while.
I'm surprised because he
looks
looks like...
But that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that
be...
it's been a while. That's something that a nigga can't help.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I know he has strong arms, so I'm not sure how much he Wu-Tang Clans ain't nothing to fuck with, but...
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been a minute, and so you have to build up a stamina and things. I also don't know what the motions were like, so I've never been on that side of the tracks before. But from what I've seen, the tracks move very quickly, and I like a nice, easy ride.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
So after the dinner, he's still confused as to what's happening in their relationship because he's leaned into the marriage. He's like, the whole point of this was to skip all that shit that you do in the beginning and to be married. Mm-hmm. She is still trying to date this man. Mm-hmm. And, she's like, she doesn't feel like they're progressing in their relationship. She feels like talking to him is like talking to a brick wall, and he thinks that everything is fine. Because she hasn't given him any another note outside of, LOL, this is awkward.
Yeah, so he's like, I would like to initiate more affection and things like that, but I'm trying to be respectful of your needing to adjust, but at the same time, you're not even communicating with me. So I don't know how to move. This
is just like how Vincent did Amber, or Joe from the Facts of Life.
How Amber did him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Same scenario, and they look alike, actually.
What?
Vincent and the evil villain, they do look alike. They both are large and creepy white men.
Well, they both look like gargoyle evil villains.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, she keeps saying, there's something not clicking, and I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm. Something's missing.
And he's like, I'm just not sure this is going to work out. And
he's like,
she's clearly,
I can't do all of this for somebody who's not receptive to me. I just can't.
Right. And she's not ready for marriage. She wants to be, the single female, single white female who works at, some white tech blog. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm sure she's read Lean In. So, fine. But here's where the mess happened. So the next day, they are getting ready to go back to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And Evil Villain says, things have gotten worse. So he said that she was going to go with the girls and have a girls' night.
After the dinner.
after the dinner, and he was like, okay, fine. So he goes back to the hotel room. So something told him to go look for her around the casino.
Not even. He went to go get food. He believed her.
Yeah. He went to go downstairs to get food, and he sees her with all the couples.
And they run off. Yeah. Like, can you imagine? I felt so sad for him in that moment. I have not felt anything for this man this entire time. And I said, wow, that is fucked up.
Because I thought they all got along with that nigga, too. Like,
so I tried to imagine what that might have looked like. And I don't think it had anything to do with that outside of the fact that he is intensely awkward. And they probably all are like, we have no loyalty to this nigga. But also, you don't know if she told them, hey, guys, I don't like this, or I'm not feeling this, and I just need this time to be by myself. So when she saw him, she's like, oh my God, go, 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 go. And everybody just kind of fell in line.
All right.
But what does that say? Never mind. I'm not even, no. No.
So she ditched him. And they ain't spoke since. So next week when we see them and they all move into this little commune, they about to go at it. So,
because he's like, the trust is gone. He's like, the benefit of the doubt is gone. She lied to me intentionally instead of literally just being honest, and that's not right. Like, and the thing about it is that he has been making a concerted effort to try to make things work with her, and also work with the fact that this is an adjustment. He's like, I understand that. He's like, but after a certain while, like, are you going to try?
Right, like,
you can't just say I don't know and look at me with a blank stare when I ask you questions. Like, I am trying here and you are giving me absolutely nothing to go off of. So that was egregious and fucked up.
Yeah, I felt really bad.
I felt bad.
I felt really, really bad. So hopefully, well, no, it's going to get worse from here on out. So stick along for the ride, kids.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
All right. So let's take a break. We'll be back.
That's the episode.
Oh, we're done?
It's been 2 hours, nigga.
Okay,
so,
fine.
Married at First Sight extravaganza. That's it. I'm calling it.
Okay, that's fine. Make sure you subscribe and follow and click all the links in the description box on here on Spotify. And also, if you haven't heard, we're going to be in all the countries that we weren't once in before, but now are on again. So we're coming back to the Caribbean, and we're coming back to the motherland.
We missed you all.
And a total of 80 plus countries. So we will be on the airwaves very, very soon, wherever you are. So tell a friend and tell a friend, tell a friend. And we'll see you all on Patreon next week.